Live. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Live on YouTube, Facebook, and on Instagram. Everybody who's joining in on Instagram, welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys can ask questions on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Everybody who's joined in, welcome. I want to say a quick welcome to everybody. Okay, so I'm just going to read out your name. Miradnan Sani Mortazam Mahpour. Then this one name I can't pronounce. HK Soda, Natasha, Sultan, Flyboy, Tayyib, Eagles, Omas, Dubai, USA friend. Guys, the thing is, the reason I go live is so that I can actually take questions from you guys on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. So any questions that you might have and you want to ask, please shoot away. Like, you know, I'll take them live. I want to start today by addressing a little thing on how to deal with difficult clients. Okay, this is going to be helpful for investors because you know you might have been on the other end, receiving end of a tough agent who was not being nice to you, and then I want to actually remind myself as well, because I remember one of my teachers, mentors early in the days. He used to teach a course on the art of communication. I think it started out as the art of negotiation, and then it became the art of communication. And the reason he said that the reason he used to talk about this course was, you know, every time he taught this course, he felt that his relationship and his communication with his spouse would improve, with people would improve. So I think I want to give myself a reminder as well. And that is, you know, when you've got a difficult client, somebody who's asking questions, and perhaps you've explained things to them once, twice, thrice, and they're still asking a lot of questions, and maybe they're asking questions that are weird. Maybe they've got weird expectations. I think now this is a reminder and advice to myself. Our role as advisors, agents, is to be absolutely patient. Patient and understanding, and sometimes I think we might lose that, because you know patience is also an art, and not everybody can be always patient. Sometimes you might lose patience. Like, you're human, I'm human, but you know the reminder might go a little bit further to say that, look, we've got to be patient, we've got to be nice to our clients, and we got to be understanding, because you might have been dealing with n number of deals that are X number of amounts. Like, you might be dealing with deals that are 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, but here comes somebody and you know they've got a small deal, a $1 million deal, 1 million dirham deal, and you're thinking, like, generally speaking, the way to approach this is to obviously treat them the same way, because that's how we do it. We don't want to give them the feeling that your amount or your property or you are less important, because they're not. At the end of the day, all of these deals add up to your business. So you want to give them the same amount of attention and the same amount of importance. And then when you're doing that, obviously it should come through that you're being patient and understanding with them. No matter how the Dubai real estate market, or real estate in general in Dubai or everywhere else in the world operates, there's always things in a transaction or a deal that might come up that you might not be fully prepared for, but you solve it. Let's say a transfer was supposed to take place on a certain date, but for XYZ reason, a developer that was supposed to give an NOC. An NOC is something called a no objection certificate that you need for the transfer to take place. For XYZ reason, the developer that's in charge of handling over the transfer documents doesn't do it in time. How do you solve this? It's very easy. You simply solve it by, you know, extending the MOU, the document, so on and so forth. All right, guys, welcome everybody who's joined in. I'm open to questions. You can ask me any question that you like. Noman, Farzeen, Azhar, Naveed, Arfan, Daniel, Hossam, Abdul Samad, Captain Christian, Hidayat, Natik. Okay, guys. Yeah, good. And of course, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So if you guys got questions, you're welcome to ask. I'm going to take up some of the questions that I've got over the week on my Instagram or YouTube, and then maybe answer those very quickly. And in the meantime, if you guys got questions, you can always ask me and I'll be happy to answer. So somebody asks me, this is a question by Tabby 72 full. I heard some agents saying Silicon Oasis has some freehold buildings. Yes, that's correct. Some buildings have been made into freehold because the developers have gone on to the Dubai Silicon Oasis Authority. They've made some payments, and their contracts on the land have been adjusted. So some of the buildings have become freehold. So as long as the developers are registered, they've made payments, the necessary payments, then the apartments can be sold freehold. And from what I understand, that there are more apartments now that are becoming freehold. There's a certain payment that you need to make, and then it becomes freehold, which is quite interesting. So I don't want to quote the payment, and I don't want to quote the procedure. Why? Because I'm not aware of the full procedure and the way that it's working. So I'd rather leave it to you guys to understand exactly how it operates. And if you want more information, then get in touch with the team. They can go and find out for you. All right. So somebody asks Ford CVS. Okay, this is somebody he's one of my subscribers from a long time ago. I remember this name. I remember this name very well. So he asks me, choose the best 5 from this list: Diyar, Imar, Shoba, Azizi, Bingati, Danube, Damag, and Mag. So he gave me like 8 options and then told me choose the best 5. Okay, look, I'm not gonna choose the best 5. I'll tell you the top 1 in these, okay, which you obviously already probably know. The top one would be Imar, because Imar, one of the longest serving, one of the largest developer, one of the biggest brand in Dubai, and kind of like always almost does what it says it does. That doesn't mean the others don't, but Imar just has that reputation, the credibility. They've been in the market very long, and they have delivered almost about 100,000 apartments, villas, townhouses, offices across the board. So I would say 1, and then I don't want to rank the others because it's kind of unfair. I'll tell you why. Even Imar, see, it's a good question for you to ask, like choose the top 1 or choose the top 5. The problem when choosing the top 1 is it might not be the best top 1 for everybody, right? So the lowest 1-bedroom apartment that Imar sells today is about 1.6 million. 1.7 million. And if somebody's got a budget of about 500,000, that's it. Like there's no more money coming in, then you can't force them and say, no, Imar is the best. You still got to go and buy from them. There was a time when Imar had, like about 4 years ago, Imar had 4 years ago some apartments in Dubai South, and these apartments in Dubai South were priced at 635,000. They are today on the resale market for 900,000. Excuse me. So yeah, that was like the lowest I've seen for a while for apartments. All right, cool. So it's kind of like unfair to pick the top 5, but I've talked about the top 1. Okay. Please do the freehold areas, freehold versus leasehold, understanding property ownership in Dubai. I'm not sure what this person meant. Maybe if we can always ask them, what do you mean, right? Anu? Ask them, like, what do you mean by please do the freehold areas? What do you mean? Like, what do you want me to do about the freehold areas? I almost always talk a lot about the freehold areas. Guys, everybody who's joined in on Instagram, welcome. Talha, Alpha, Suhaib, Hidayat, Tariq, Captain Christian, Talhash, Rewolf, CH. Sometimes I really like these names. They're very, very unique. Shaq 2310, Amcolian Dental Care, Jithin Binyam, Amira Gaffer, Ikra Anis, Mahmoud Basyon. You guys got questions? I'm happy to answer. Please just ask me straight away. Okay. So right now I'm doing questions that have already come in on my Instagram and YouTube channel. And what I'm going to do is, just give me a moment. So somebody says, you don't talk enough about the Oasis by Imar Miraj. For rich people with kids, it looks to be the best place to live at the moment. Price are cheap per square meter compared to the quality of the project. Okay. Look, I gotta tell you this, like Oasis is not a cheap project. Like maybe per square foot prices if you're talking about Oasis by Imar, and I'll make a video on this. Guys, take a note. I'll make a full proper video on explaining the Oasis project. Oasis is it's a high-end project. It's a luxury villa project. They don't have townhouses there. They don't have smaller houses there. So maybe per square meter or price per square feet you're talking about is very acceptable, very doable. But other than that, it's not a cheap project. Okay, but you know, like other projects of Imar, it's going to be built in a very good community, I hope, and it's going to come up very good. Somebody's made a comment on a video I did about Dubai International City long time ago, and they're asking me which is the best cluster. That's a good question. Look, I so there used to be, just to let you know, there used to be this general market norm or general market uh, perception that the European clusters it sounds a little bit odd. That the general European clusters were supposed to be the nicer ones. Hey, love from Myanmar. Hi, how are you? Thank you for your love from Myanmar. On YouTube, saw Pia win. Okay, good, good. Guys, so there used to be this general perception that the European clusters, so we're talking about England, France, Italy. I don't think there's a Germany over there. But these clusters were the nicer clusters. Generally, that was the norm. But then the Emirates cluster is known to be quite nice as well, and the apartments are bigger. Generally speaking, and then on top of this, what I can say is that the clusters that were built a little bit later, or the clusters that were built much later and delivered later, were considered to be nicer. Like, I can't tell you like this cluster is nicer from this. At the end of the day, it's going to depend on if you're going to be living there, if you're trying to rent it out, so on and so forth. Okay, so which cluster is best used to be a perception, I think, up till 2013, that the European clusters were the better ones. And I want to tell you a story, like, you know, a story time. Okay, the first time I went to International City was 2007. So if any of you have ever been to International City, with all the hustle and bustle and with all the people over there, then I want you to imagine all of the buildings there ready, but the entire city empty. So I went with my father because my father was attached to a large property reseller who had about 32 buildings that they had, you know, bought from the Khil, and then they had resold to the mostly Pakistani diaspora, right? And I went with my father. Hey, everybody who's here, welcome. Trustnaf, Mariam, Omer, DJP 420, Omar Javed, Sahar Revo. Welcome. If you guys got questions, happy to answer them live. Just put them in the Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, and I'll read your question, choose your question, and answer. Okay. So 2007, the place is like empty. Like, imagine, like, it was like ghost town, but a pristine, clean, nice ghost town, because all these buildings had just been finished. Like, there was like literally like just final work going on. Like, no real workmen were there except people who were doing the interiors, like maybe doing painting, maybe doing final plumbing checks, maybe doing a little bit of this and that, like absolute final. Like, there was nothing else being done. And so I went there with my father in 2007, and we walked around. You know, he was setting up an office over there for the handovers to take place for his clients. And, you know, me and my father, like, every day we used to drive down there. We used to be surprised. Like, we'd pass by Dragon Mart, I think that's what it's called, and Dragon Mart or Dragon Mall. And then we'd be like surprised and talk to each other and be like, you know, there's like 27,000 apartments here. Who's going to be living here? Like, you know, and how's Dubai going to fill this place up? And, you know, lo and behold, that place is like bustling with people. Like, I think International City at least has like 200 to 250,000 people. If there's 27,000 apartments and each apartment has at least 4, that's at least 100,000. But I think there is overcrowding there, so I don't think there's 100,000 people. There's maybe about 150,000 people living there, and it's very interesting. DJ P420 asks a question. I'm currently looking at a 15-year-old building, but well-maintained 2 BHK of 1550 square feet. What do you think should be the property rate? Good question. And I'm going to explain this to you. How you find this, okay, DJ? I'll explain this to you how you can end up doing this, okay? Because your question actually doesn't give me enough information. It doesn't give me enough information to be able to answer correctly. I'm going to guide you on how you can do this, okay? So look at the building. Okay, so you've not named the building, so that's fine. But whatever building it is, you know the building, right? Go online and do a search for apartments for sale in that building. Okay, so you're going to start looking at one by one, right? So that's step one. You're going to start calling. So look for apartments for sale in that building, and then go to the filter and say lowest, give me the lowest price first. Good. Now, without revealing too much, call that agent or realtor who's got that unit at the lowest price, okay? At that lowest price, call him. Ask him if that particular unit is available. Because if you're buying in this building, you already know a lot about this building, okay? So you're going to ask him. You're going to ask him. So, okay, I'm going to explain something to you. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get the per square foot price, okay? So I'm going to now say, let's imagine that you're paying 1.5 million for your 1550 square feet apartment, okay? 1.5 million divided by 1550 is about 967 dirhams per square foot. Do you get this? Okay, so now this is your base price that you're, let's say I've done an imaginary price for you, okay? This imaginary price is 1.5 million, and because you've told me that the square footage is 1550, I've calculated the per square foot price of 967 dirhams per square foot. Now you go to Property Finder, check out all the listings, filter it by lowest, and then call that agent. Now that agent, if it's a genuine listing, is going to tell you that it's genuine. You can come and view. You can ask him, cross-question him, say, look, I'm interested, but I'm not interested in a low floor. Can you give me a little bit of an idea? I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to do a viewing if it doesn't meet my requirements. Now, he might tell you it's not available. So now you know it's a fake listing, okay? A fake listing means it was never actually available at that price anyways. But keep calling, okay? Keep going. Call number 2, call number 3, call number 4. Do at least 10 to 15 calls. Speak to 10 to 15 agents. Try not to step on their toes and try not to reveal too much why you're calling them, okay? Try to assess, hey, in this, you might actually find a great deal, right? You might find that one agent who knows that one seller really well, and they're really looking to make a quick deal, quick buck, and get out of it an investment for XYZ reason. So you might even be able to find that. But every time you find an apartment, write down the basic details, like is it vacant, is it rented, what rent is it available on. And I'll explain the rented and vacant thing as well. There's something called the vacancy premium. If an apartment's vacant for you to be able to move in, or for you to be able to rent it at market rate, that apartment for a 2-bedroom is going to be at least considerably 70 to 100,000 dirhams more expensive, because you can actually charge more in rent, okay? So that you got to take into consideration, number one. Then you go to DXB Direct, okay? DXB Direct, or DXB Interact rather. That shows you actual transactional data of the apartment buildings. Once you've seen that and you've spoken to the other person, now this apartment that you're looking at buying in a 15-year-old building, what do you think should be the property rate? Essentially speaking, you would be able to then say, look, you know, per square foot, I said 1.5 million, right? Maybe this 2 bedrooms, 2 million. But let's say it was 1.5 million and 967 dirhams per square foot is the average rate. If you're paying something around this, it's okay. If you're paying 1200 dirhams per square foot, then every 100 dirhams per square foot increment will actually mean about 150,000 dirhams more, right? There should be something justifying it, right? So maybe the apartment overlooks nothing, as in like it's got a great view of the Burj Khalifa. Maybe the apartment overlooks the parking lot. Maybe the apartment has unobstructed view of the sea, you know? So take that into consideration and then come up with the best possible price, okay? All right, good. Everybody else who's here, join in. Welcome, guys. You can ask me questions. Priyata Matata, Abisri, Samuel, Sebastian, Brihanusfa, Ajat. Guys, some of these names, sorry if I mispronounce them. Daniel Remax, Mohammed Madian, Omar Aldas Dubai, Muhammad Abdur Rahman, Nirmu, Zubi Mac, Jaspals, 85209. How are you? Talishan, Cuckoo 3K, DJ P420. Thanks a lot for the detailed answer. Maybe we can make a video out of this detailed answer, because it's a good way of guiding somebody. Okay, DJ, I hope you will be able to benefit from that. Artib, Abdul Samad, 48 others do join. Okay, guys, a few more questions I've got over here. If you guys got questions over there, you're welcome to ask me, and I will help my best in the best possible way. Okay, let me just answer a few more questions. Give some advice for beginners how to pursue this job in the correct way. Talk about how can you attract clients to close deals with you as a beginner. So, I'm going to say this. The basic thing, okay? The basic, absolute basic thing that you guys should be doing, all of you, is just meet a lot of people. Okay, now to meet a lot of people, you're gonna have to call a lot of people. To call a lot of people, you're gonna have to network a lot of people, and that's how you're gonna do. Like, I can't tell you like go and work on your sales skills now. It's gonna be no value. I can't tell you to go and learn about the community more and more and more. Like, you could learn about a community till the cows come home and you know every single thing. But if you're not dealing with clients, meeting with clients, understanding their pains, problems, and then facing problems with the clients, which means that they ask you a question, you don't know the answer, that's fine, because you're going to go in for the next meeting, you're going to go and find out the answer. That's how the human brain works. Like, if I ask you, like, you know, where in Rome is the airport, and you're supposed to be like a tourist guide for Rome, and you don't know, for instance, your first day, you'd probably go home that day and be like, you know, tell your wife like, oh my God, you asked me this question, I had no answer. And then you tell your colleagues about it, and then you're like, oh shucks, man, like, you know, I wish I knew the answer. So the reality is you're then going to be able to know. Mitesh Katan, any update on the Eastern Residence Falcon City? Sorry, you guys, I don't want to be the bearer of news that is not helpful. I don't have any news. I'm sorry. So advice for beginners: go and have a lot of meetings. Okay, with every meeting you're going to improve. Okay, don't sit in the office. Would you believe in the areas to invest in off-plan? What gives? So Anirudh Mukherjee asks, what you believe would be the areas to invest in off-plan for the maximum capital appreciation in the future? Something similar to Dubai Hills. Thank you. That's a good question. So somebody asks this about Dubai Hills. You guys got to understand something. Like, Dubai Hills, when it started out, people used to turn their nose up. Like, if you guys don't know about this, but in front of Dubai Hills, even today, is Al Quoz Industrial. And right behind Dubai Hills is empty desert land. And if you pass by that place, you'd be like, ooh, who wants to live here? Like, I don't know, like, people just used to turn up their nose, and I remember that, right? Like, okay, what's happening? What's going to happen? Same thing with Dubai Creek Harbor. Like, okay, yeah, right, whatever. Maybe the Creek Tower is never going to come. Yeah, the mall's never going to come. The community. Okay, right now, Creek Harbor is pretty undervalued. You can still go to Creek Harbor. It's going to be the next downtown. It might take 5 years, might take 6 years, might take 10 years, right? That area lacks a massive big mall. So it's going to come, it's going to happen. Are you ready to take that punt, right? So even if I tell you guys this, you guys are going to be like, oh my God. Doesn't make sense. No, like, you know. So the fact is, go with a reputable developer and take up a unique offering. Like, for instance, Emaar launched Greenway in Emaar South, Dubai South. That was a good place to invest in, right? So, Mahmoud, you asked me, please answer my question. Let me find your question, Mahmoud. Did I miss your question? I apologize. Mahmoud, Mahmoud, please repeat your question, because I think I cannot see any question by you in today's live. If you've asked me before that, then I'm not sure. Okay, so okay, guys, welcome everybody who's joined. Christian, Amy, Nirmu07, Double S Real Estate, okay, Amro, Merhi Hamad. Okay, so Nirmu asks, what is the most valued property area to purchase in an apartment? Valued to who? Like, if you're asking me what's the per square foot price which is the most expensive, then I think some of the residences on Palm Jumeirah are coming up as really, really, really per square foot prices are touching up, like, right up there. They're like 10,000 dirhams per square foot or even more. But if you're talking about what's the most valued to you, Nirmu, then I'd advise you to come and join us in the Dubai Wealth Builder program so that we can help you identify the best potential properties that you can actually buy, right? Because most valued varies from people to people, okay? Somebody asks, Yeah, this is a question about the Falcon City. Look, I would say don't lose hope. It may take time, but go through the process. Like go to the government departments, get their advice. Like the land department, seek their advice and then follow their advice. Like be nice to the like. Guys, just remember this: Dubai Land Department and RERA are there to help you, and they will guide you. Then take their advice and follow it. Okay. Uh, Somebody asks, can I get into business with 20,000 dirhams? What kind of business? I guess yes. Please make a video on Dubai South. Okay, I'll do that in the future. How about Imar Beachfront? Hey, this is for Achurthar Birjogola. Okay, check this out. I've done a video. This was like 4 years ago. Imar Beachfront versus Dubai Marina. It's still an interesting video. I think you should go check it out. All right, guys. I don't see any questions coming in. Mahmoud, I'm sorry. Okay, Mahmoud, I'll see your question now. I want to ask you how to calculate ROI of commercial unit. What's the hidden cost compared by residential unit? Very good question. How would you do this? The first thing, Mahmoud, you would do is you would call up a few warehouse specialists. Okay, if this is a warehouse, if this is an office, you would call up some office specialists. In general, like I'm just going to compare an office. Okay, in general, an office doesn't have any special hidden costs. Okay, it's the same things. There's service charges. You're paying some VAT on the rent. That's what you, because it's a commercial thing. When you buy the office, you have to pay VAT as well. Okay, a 5% VAT, which you can adjust with other things if you're running a business, so on and so forth. Okay, so the best thing to do, okay, is to call up a commercial expert in that area, especially somebody who does sales. So if you're looking at industrial units, warehouses, offices, talk to them. Okay, in general, if you're just looking to buy an office, there's the VAT that you've got to pay on the rent and the VAT that you've got to pay on the on the purchase of the office. Okay, other than that, it's service charges, so on and so forth. Then there's a few smaller things that you've got to pay, such as civil defense and stuff like that, for regular checkups and stuff like that. But it's not so much difficult to residential. But when you get into warehousing and industrial units, completely different ball game, completely different nature of ownership, because it's leasehold, so it's a completely different animal. I'd recommend, my advice is, talk to somebody who's a complete expert there instead of generic answer from me. So I don't want you to lose out. All right, I hope that helps. And if you guys want to talk to a commercial expert, there is somebody I've had on my YouTube podcast called Prashant. Okay, where to start for a beginner in real estate? I've answered this. Go and have a lot of meetings, guys. Tons and tons and tons of meetings. All right. What do you think of real estate market of Saudi Arabia in near future compared to Dubai right now? Two different things. Like, you can't compare Saudi Arabia to Dubai today. Like, think about this, right? Saudi Arabia is going to be its own wonderful market, just like Saudi Arabia is its own country and place to visit. It's got its own nature, its own culture, and it's a nice place to go, right? And I think Dubai is going to be its own, and Abu Dhabi is on its own. But if you're thinking about, should we move our money from Dubai to Saudi Arabia, or from Dubai to Abu Dhabi? No, every market on its own needs to be evaluated. And I'll tell you something, okay? Saudi Arabia is going to go through the same learning curve as Dubai has, right? Saudi Arabia spent a lot of money on branding, getting the name out, a lot of big football players, like everybody. I think it's kind of like a foregone conclusion that the 2034 World Cup is going to Saudi Arabia. Football World Cup, I think, or something like that. Now, all of this put together, you've got to remember something. It puts a lot of pressure on the economy to keep up as well, right? So what's happened in Qatar is they had a massive build-up to the 2022 World Cup, and then things have kind of slowed down, right? It's normal in a lot of the countries around the globe. When they have a World Cup, they do a massive investment into infrastructure, hoping that all of that's going to then lead the economy to come up, right? Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, like South Africa and so on and so forth. Like, we've seen World Cups happen there, and nothing really after that. But now look at Dubai's learning curve. Okay, Dubai learned that some projects were not feasible. They never got off the ground. They got replanned, redeveloped. Palm Jabal. In the beginning, you remember there was Palm Jabal Ali, Palm Jumeirah, Deira Islands, and World Islands. And then World Islands, Palm Jabal Ali, and the Deira Islands were put on hold, and then only Palm Jumeirah continued. And it took about 23 years for that whole entire place to get fully developed, for the government to learn what works, what doesn't work. Palm Jabal Ali has just been launched in 2023. Deira Islands have just been launched. They were rebranded, relaunched as a night market. That's kind of worked, kind of not worked, and they're now rebranding. The World Islands are now becoming a destination place in its own right, right? So you guys got to keep that out, right? So Saudi Arabia, the line is now going to become smaller. I don't know why. I did read some news like tons of birds would die with the line if it's in the middle of the desert. I don't know why. Like, I'm sure like you could have some kind of protection for the birds. Like, you know, you could have like a sanctuary around the line. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. But I do know that there's going to be this learning curve. In that learning curve, you don't want to be stuck on the wrong side. So go in, be ready for the risk, be ready for the ride, right? Just like a roller coaster. It's very exciting, and then it's scary. Know it in advance. There'll be scary moments. And then be happy for the ride, okay? Sebastian, so last few questions I'm going to answer now. Sebastian asks, guys, everybody who's here, welcome. If you guys got questions, guys, please come on to our live, and we're happy to answer your questions. Zoya, Faisal, Woody Fan, Mahmoud Malik, Tayyib Khan, Ahmed. Sebastian asks me, John Zabe says, very true. Thank you for the detailed reply. I appreciate it. Jazakallah khair. I appreciate your appreciation, John Zabe. Saad Real Estate, welcome everybody who's joined in. Sebastian, and just one thing, John Zabe, I want to say, this is my opinion. Like, you could find other opinions that might completely disagree with me, right? Zayed, welcome. Okay. I've got a question from Sebastian. Where is this? Where is the question gone? Sebastian James, your opinion on Eternitas Tower by Frank Muller. Do you see any potential issues considering the fact they're building using an abandoned structure? Let's do live research, please, so I can actually give you good advice, okay? Oh, I think I understand when this is coming. Is this coming on the is this coming on the Pearl Place? No, it's in Dubai Marina. Oh, right. Construction began in April 2013. Ooh la la. So I can see the consultants, National Engineering Bureau, they're top notch. They know what they're doing, generally speaking. I've heard they're very good reputation. It was launched in 2008. Construction didn't commence till 2013. Upon completion, 106 Tower will be the second tallest after the Pentominium, currently on hold. Doesn't have sea view. They partnered with luxury brand. Look, I think it's very interesting, but I think that you really need some advice. If you're looking at buying here, look, join the Dubai Wealth Builder program so that we can do a complete evaluation of your the reason why you're looking to buy here, and then what would be potential risks. Every investment comes with risks, guys. Every investment. There's no like 100% upside and zero downside. Doesn't exist, right? So, but we would look at it in more detail to say what expectations you should have. Generally speaking, a project that was launched in 2008, then 2013, I don't know, just you got to be a little bit with your eyes open and be a little bit, okay, I hope things go well. All right, guys, thank you very much, everybody who's joined in today. Please, Tayyib Khan, appreciate your work and good to learn from you. Jazakallah khair. Please excuse my nasal voice. I'm recovering from a cold, alhamdulillah. Thank you, everybody who's joined in. Thank you, everybody who's asked questions. I wish you adieu. Good luck. We'll go live every Saturday, okay, in the mornings. And thank you very much for joining in and asking questions. Goodbye for now.